Why hello there, I'm Professor Joel and welcome to my ranking video of the first season of Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo. This season had 16 episodes and usually I do my favorite to least favorite. I'm switching it up today. I am doing least favorite to favorite and I know everyone's busy, so if you just want to cut to the chase, I have time jumps below. Also, it's Christmas Eve. At least this is premiering on Christmas Eve. I'm actually filming it in February of 2022, but it won't air until Christmas Eve. I kind of do that for a couple reasons. I want to always have a video out every week. So if I work ahead, I can rest easy knowing a video will come out. And also if I do these ahead of time, I don't get influenced by other people's feelings about these episodes. I'm highly impressionable. Like, people can say something to me and I can change my mind. I've jumped off many bridges, I guess you could say. So that's another reason why I film everything ahead, just so no one kind of influences me. So I'm just going to jump in. And number 16, my least favorite of this series. This is the series with where Scrappy-Doo's first introduced to the series, but you still have Velma, Freddy, and Daphne. So my least favorite is the Ransom of Scooby Chief. And this is the episode where it just mostly focuses on Scrappy and his two puppy pals, Annie and Duke, I believe. Scooby and Shaggy get kidnapped by some criminals, and it's up to Scrappy and Annie and Duke to rescue him. So, human villains in this one, no villain, no supernatural. They're just kind of in New York. They get kidnapped, and not a bad episode, but not my thing. No mystery, right?
Come on, guys.
How bad could it be?
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Number 15 is Rocky Mountain YIIII. I like the villain in this one, the ghost of Jebediah or Jeremiah. Very cool. Look like kind of like a zombie mountain man, lumberjack kind of dude. Gang is wearing winter clothes. But when I think back on this one, not much I remember other than the weird kind of maid or housekeeper. She was very strange.
You must leave at once. Grave danger lurks here. You can thaw out in the sauna.
Thanks, Mrs. Winters.
My number 14 is Demon of the Dugout. This sees the gang in Japan attending a baseball ceremony or a baseball game where it's canceled by this ghost because he claims his burial ground is being tampered with. And this one wasn't bad. Just didn't love it. I didn't love the villain design, even though it's a cool looking villain. Just didn't really do much for me. Yeah, nothing really negative to say about this. This one was really well written. Just thinking back, not my favorite of the bunch. And I have to say, a lot of these episodes are fantastic. Highly unappreciated, a lot of these episodes. And my rankings too, I can be persuaded. I can go back a month now and totally have a completely different list. And this could be higher or lower. Probably higher, because I did like this episode. But it's at my number 14. My number 13 is Strange Encounters of a Scooby Kind. This one was great. I liked it. The alien design didn't hate, but didn't love. But I think what puts this near the bottom for me is this one felt more like an X-Files episode rather than a spooky Scooby-Doo episode. This one kind of veered more into science fiction, I guess is what I'm trying to say, rather than spooky horror. And I prefer spooky horror. But yeah, this one is a really good episode. I liked it, and I didn't really see the person behind the alien right away. Like it threw me by surprise. So it's a great episode. Number 12, The Sorcerer's a Menace. And this one's good. I just wish they did more with magic in this one. Kind of tame in the magic category. I thought, maybe they might go more behind the scenes with the magic tricks and such. They really didn't work a lot of magic into the episode, but still a good episode. You're going to hear me say that a lot. A lot of these episodes are really good. Highly recommend you check out this series. Even if you dislike Scrappy, you will like this. Scrappy doesn't get 100% of the attention like he kind of gets later on. He's equal. He's equally focused on as much as Freddy, Daphne, and Velma, and Scooby and Shaggy. So watch it. It's good. It's not bad. Number 11 is When You Wish Upon a Star Creature. I like this one a lot. I liked the Star Creature design. I thought that was really cool. Not much I didn't like about this episode. It's just good.
What's not to like? Custard? Good. Jam? Good. Meat? Good.
Number 10 is Lock the Door. It's the Minotaur. Good episode. We see the gang in Greece with this one. Like the villain design. I thought it was unique, even though, Minotaur, not much you can really vary with how Minotaur looks. It's a man with the head of a bull, right? With horns. So nothing shocking, but intimidating villain. Spooky. I liked him. Number 9, 20,000 Screams Under the Sea. This one, I didn't think I would rank as high, but when I'm ranking these, I'm like, I remember a lot about this episode. It's the sea monster of the Aztecs. And I didn't love the design, didn't dislike the design either of the villain. Just not one of my favorites, but it's not bad by any means. I didn't love it. Maybe later on I'll love it. I don't know. But yeah, this one was pretty good. Funny, a lot of good humor in this one. Again, the person behind it all kind of took me by surprise. And there's a lot of good set pieces in this one with the caves and the being on the boat and the harbor patrol. A lot of adventure. Check it out. It's a pretty good episode. Number 8 is The Ghoul, the Bat, and the Ugly. I think I like this one more in theory than in practice. Like, this one has some faults. So the gang are in a house, a mansion of a horror kind of celebrity who's doing like an awards show, which could never happen today because everyone's geeked out. These events are huge now, right? But I guess back in the 70s, early 80s, you could kind of do this stuff and they'd be small. If you did this kind of thing today, you'd have to rent out like probably a huge auditorium or theater for like a horror award because it's mega in pop culture anymore, right? So I like the concept. The villain was cool enough, but again, not that memorable, I guess. Like in another year, I don't know if I'll remember this Ghoul, but good episode. Number 7 is the Scary Sky Skeleton. And I love the design of the Sky Skeleton in the plane. How the plane flies and it's like you can kind of see the Sky Skeleton kind of from afar, and then design of the villain himself is kind of cool. Some animation glitches in this one. Also, a lot of the side characters, they introduced a lot. They introduced Daphne's best friend, who's Windy. And then you have the Native American Indian, Henry Grey Cloud. And you have, I think, Amelia and the reporter. And not all of them get that much screen time. And when they introduce all these characters, I'd like to see more screen time, I guess I'm trying to say. So that kind of didn't work for me, but villain design is what elevates this for me. Number 6, you might be surprised that it's so high because it's kind of a plain episode. It's the hairy scare of the devil bear, and bears scare me. Bears, when I'm camping, I'm a little terrified of bears. Not enough to not go camping, but I kind of have a little nightmare of a bear coming up and, stealing me out of my tent at night. That kind of frightens me. Not that, again, I camp a lot, so it's nothing that prevents me from camping, but it's always in the back of my head. If I'm walking in the woods, I'm always it's probably the best thing to be doing if you're out in bear country, to be aware. So, yeah, that's, I think, what's made this episode a little higher for me. I like the design. He's like a devil bear, so he's got like those, what's that, like that, the dark metal, heavy metal singer kind of face makeup that makes him look like he's a little satanic, I guess, or something. Got like a little necklace on too, I think. But yeah, I like this episode. And, the bear is kind of terrifying too because he claws up the walls with his claws. So if he gets a hold of Shaggy or something, he's going to, he could do some damage. So I like that episode. Number 5 is The Scarab Lives, first episode with Scrappy-Doo. This one, not that spooky, but it is so well written. It's got a cool plot. I like the plot a lot. They took the Scooby franchise in a different kind of direction than they normally go, but they still kind of base it in that Scooby-Doo world. Like, you still have those tropes that are necessary. They didn't go like too crazy with it, but I liked what they did with this episode. So that is my number 5. Number 4 is the Neon Phantom of the Roller Derby. And this one took me as a surprise too, because the Neon Phantom design, I don't necessarily love. I don't dislike it, but I don't think it's something I'm going to ever remember or I'd want a toy of. But if I see it, I go, yeah, I remember that episode. But again, in a year, I don't think I'll remember the villain. But I had a lot of fun with this episode. Like, they're in the roller derby and they got Sparkles. It's called the roller derby, and there's a band called Sparkles, and the gang just see a rock concert called, the band was Nightmare. They just, out of the blue, they see this band, and then Shaggy and Scooby and Scrappy are on like this red carpet for some movie that's coming out starring Travolta, I think, and Barbra Streisand. And it's just a lot of weird and wacky 70s and 80s kind of stuff happening. And as a kid, I used to go roller skating too. So I got, nostalgia for that kind of scene, which didn't last long, maybe a decade. And then everything kind of switched to rollerblades. And I don't even know if people rollerblade anymore. People used to rollerblade everywhere when I was a teenager. Like, I went to college or university and people would rollerblade from class to class. I think there's an episode of Friends where Ross roller skates everywhere too, or rollerblades everywhere too. It's been 20 years since then. I don't think anyone rollerblades anymore. I could be wrong. I just don't see it as much. But it was a big craze. Blades and skates. And, there's those girls who roller skate too, and they chuck each other into walls and stuff. Roller derby. That's kind of come back. But yeah, I'm babbling. So I'm just going to move on to my number 3, which is Shiver and Shake. That's a demon snake. You combine like a snake and a clown, you got a frightening villain, and this one has that. And I love how they travel in this one. They go to different islands. They don't go to Cuba. They go to like the Florida Keys, and they go other places too. I forget where now. But that was a good episode. And Daphne buys that creepy snake statue. Like, what is it with Daphne buying like the creepiest statues? She bought something like the Creepy Mask and Mystery Mask mix up. And didn't she buy like a cat with the moving paw in an episode? I forget. Maybe that was just in the background of some movie or episode. But yeah, good episode. Great villain. They hit up New Orleans as well for Mardi Gras. So a lot of fun with this one. Definitely. My number 2 is tied with my number 1, but I'm putting it at number 2 because I just like number 1 just a little bit more. And my number 2 is the Night Ghoul of Wonderworld. This is a 10 out of 10 episode. It's awesome. Very creative, because you got this gang going to an amusement park that's completely run by robots, and you have Velma kind of pretending to be Sherlock Holmes' sidekick and solving a mystery. And the Night Ghoul is a very cool villain, very gothic looking kind of, he's got like a top hat, I think, and a suit, and he's well dressed, and he's got that pale funeral parlor kind of face that's creepy. And very creative episode, a lot of fun. It is a 10 out of 10. It's just not my number 1. And I don't know why. It just isn't. It probably should be, because this is a fantastic episode. I'll always remember it. But my number 1, it's going to be I Left My Neck in San Francisco. I like vampires a lot, and I like Daphne a lot, and I like people kind of thinking Daphne could be a vampire, and they do that in this one. They set it up so Daphne doesn't reflect like her own reflection in one scene, and they go to Alcatraz, and the vampire lady, the Lady of the Bay vampire, I think her name is, or something along those lines, looks really cool. I like her look. She's got long red hair, and she turns into a bat, and we see the bat fly in Daphne's window, and then the gang run to Daphne's aid, and Daphne's just sleeping in bed, and they're like, is she a vampire? And then someone's stealing jewels, and they're running around Chinatown, and it was just a lot of fun. And I like this episode a lot. It's my number 1. But let me know what your rankings are, okay? Seriously, top 10, top 5, top 3, least favorite, number 1, whatever. Leave it a comment below. I'd love to hear. And I always like hearing from everyone. And thank you for watching. And next week, we're just kind of continuing with the Scrappy series going ahead. Anyway, hopefully we'll see you all next week. And until then, Merry Christmas.